Hello, welcome to episode 141 of the Sock Bunny Knit and Fit video podcast. My name is Kimberly, also known as Sock Bunny, and I'm recording in sunny Florida in the United States of America, where it's a little bit overcast. The sun keeps coming and going, so the lighting will probably be crazy during this episode, but that's okay. Today is Thursday, September 17th, 2015, and believe it or not, fall or autumn starts next week, September 23rd. I just can't believe it's almost fall. That's just crazy. I am Sock Buddy on Ravelry, Instagram, and Twitter. Those are pretty much the only places I've been hanging out lately. I did make a Tumblr account, but I can't remember what I called it. My daughter, younger daughter Rachel, is obsessed with Tumblr, so I did create a Tumblr account, but mainly I wanted to put Sims related stuff on there. I do have a Sims YouTube channel, which is called Sock Bunny Sims, if you want to check that out. I had a viewer ask me this week if I still collect pencils, and yes, I do still collect pencils. You'll notice a theme today. I have on my Coca-Cola t-shirt, which is probably one of my favorite shirts I've ever owned, and I have my Coca-Cola bear back here, my little mascot, and I am writing with a Coca-Cola pencil, which was purchased at Target, and I do have a Coca-Cola next to me, so yes, there is a theme here. I'm a little obsessed. All right. Not the healthiest of obsession. I don't have them every day, and I don't drink. I generally don't drink more than one in a day either. So my one, my one weakness, except yarn and bunnies and flamingos and turvises. All right, so I have multiple weaknesses. All right, so let's get right into the podcast. First, I want to mention something. Lisa, who is Life Full of Laugh, messaged me on Ravelry and asked me to mention a group that she started. She originally started it on Facebook, but she did move it over to Ravelry. And it's a sock yarn mini scrap swapping group. And I will try really hard to remember. In fact, I'm going to write myself a note to link to it in the Ravelry group description for this particular podcast, episode 41, if you want to check that out. Or you could just find Life Full of Laugh on Ravelry and join her group. She has regular swaps and also swapless swaps. And a swapless swap is where you pay a fee, and then that person buys yarn from maybe an indie dyer, and then she'll break it up into little minis and send it off to you. So she's got a bunch of those going on, and it looks like it's a pretty fun, active group. I did join it, but I don't know if I'll be doing any swaps. When I used to do scrapbooking and stuff, I was so obsessed with swaps. I think I got swap burnout. I still like doing them sometimes, but I probably won't do any mini swaps. Plus, I have a ton of sock yarn scrap. So, but anyway, do go check that out. And thank you, Lisa, for letting me know about that. What are we going to talk about today? Sockstravaganza. It's over, but we'll talk about that briefly. Finished objects, works in progress. Upcoming events, fitness, tips and tricks, what I'm watching and reading, and favorite things. So let's talk about Sockstravaganza. I just finished recording the prize drawing. We had a ton of prizes. It was awesome. We did have 260, approximately 260 finished pairs of socks, including mine. And I just think that is awesome. I am so impressed, and thank you to everybody who donated, and thank you to everybody who participated. It was really fun. I don't know if I'll do it again next summer. I might wait until the summer after. We'll see, or maybe I'll do it at a different time. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. It is a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it because we all love socks, right? So I did want to give a shout out to the people who had the most finished pairs, and I did show this on the hold on, let me type my right password in. I did show this on the prize drawing thing, but I also want to show it here. Sarah Hepworth finished 16 pairs of socks. This is her Instagram picture of her 16 pairs of socks that she finished. So I think that's really cool. She is a sock knitting machine. Next, we two people finished 12 pairs, and that was Phoenix Fire and Knitter Chow, who are Tracy and Kathy. And then Little Mermaid Tina finished 10. Mystery Sewer finished 9, and Kathy Ann finished 9 also. So you guys rule. Everybody who finished, you guys rock. So I think I finished 7, but I don't know. I didn't go back and count. I really should, but I can't win prizes, so that's okay. But everybody won because everybody has awesome socks, right? Okay. Let's talk about knitting. I have been practicing continental knitting, and I know it's something for years and years I've wanted to do because people always say it's faster. And I'm having an allergy day today, in case you're wondering why I sound all congested and why my nose is so red. So I apologize for that. I want to practice my continental knitting because there's something I've wanted to make since fall of 2009. It's in the Interweave Knits fall 2009. And I have wanted to make this since then, and I think now is the time. But I really need to do it continental because it is, let me see if I can find the original picture here. Hold on. Oh, yeah. It is seed stitch. So if you're a thrower and you knit seed stitch, you're either A, going to go insane, or B, take the rest of your life to finish something because it's just really slow. And I am normally a thrower, an English style knitter. But I want to knit this. This is a wrap called double-sided. Is that what it's called? Oh, it's called the Every Way Wrap. It says, I don't know how to say her name, Oakman Park. Oakman Park's ingenious Every Way Wrap turns a simple rectangle, an intricate reversible cable, and two well-placed buttons into a wrap, a shrug, a vest, and a shawl-colored cardigan. Through the use of cleverly planned and crossed background stitches between deeply textured cable strands, the texture of one side of the fabric perfectly mirrors the texture of the other. And the yarn she used is Zale Canaan, whatever that is. So let's see if I can show it looking good here. It could be a wrap that you could just wear, sort of like as a long pashmina type thing, or you can also wear it. It's hard to show this. Let's see if I can show it better this way. You can also wear it this way with it buttoned in the back, which I think looks adorable. And then here's what it looks like if you wear it with the shawl collar. Or you can wear it as a long scarf. Or you can sort of wear it as a cardigan. I guess that is the reverse of that. So I've wanted to knit this since 2009. That's 6 years. It's time. So I have no idea which yarn I'm going to use to knit it. Let's see, there's another shot. Here's another shot of it. Let's see, I want to show it without showing any. Whoops. Oh my goodness, seriously, how challenged am I today? All right, there we go. I like the color that she used too. I don't know, I think I'm leaning, I know, and I'll probably regret saying this, but I think I'm leaning towards maybe using the bear color of Fisherman's Wool or the brown color of Fisherman's Wool. I'm sort of leaning in that direction. So I have been practicing my continental knitting for that purpose, and you'll see a couple of projects that I have to show you that are continental knitting. I also recently picked up the Vogue knitting. This is early fall 2015. And there's a sweater in here that I love, and I think it's very similar to some other things that I've done. I really like it. So this might be my next sweater project. I'm thinking I was going to cast on featherweight, but I'm going to a retreat in the spring, and I think I might take that as my retreat knitting project because, well, I'll talk about that as the day comes, but I'm thinking about putting off knitting the featherweight until then. Okay, I'll talk about it now, otherwise I'll forget. Because I'm going to Tina's retreat in April, which I'll talk about later, and I want to take projects that are going to, I don't want to take a bunch of small projects. I want to take a couple of long-term, long projects so I can carry less stuff is what I'm boiling this all down to. So I think featherweight is going to get pushed back until I go to the retreat. So anyway, here's the sweater. All that to say that I think this is going to be my next sweater. It's really, really pretty. I even like the color that they used. This is, I don't even know if it says what it is. Oh gosh, let's see. She uses Venezia worsted from Cascade Yarns. It's the sweater is by Rosemary Drysdale. I don't know if they give these names. Let's see, number 5. What page is it on? I don't know. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. I could be more organized, right? let's see. Hold on. It's called Open Front Cardigan. Oh, let's see. It says standard fitting cardigan with knit in ribbed front bands and shawl collar and set in sleeves. So it looks pretty interesting to me. And this, no, there aren't pockets, but I see where you could put pockets. This magazine had quite a few things in it that I would like to knit. And I'm not going to do like a full-blown magazine review, but I did want to show a few other things that I would actually knit in here. I really like this. It's really cute. I love the yarn that they use. A lot of the stuff in this magazine are done in pastel colors. I really like that. Quite a few things in here. Let's see what else. There were like 7 or 8 sweaters in here that I would actually wear, which is very unusual for Vogue knitting. So, and I really like these mitts on the front. Those might eventually get done too. So if you want to check that out, please do. Okay, so let's see. Finished objects. I have quite a few finished objects since it's been a while since I recorded. There's a plane going over. One thing I am going to frog. I had started a pair of socks. I actually finished one of the socks. But I'm going to frog. Were some socks in the New York colorway. I actually even cast on the second sock. I never grafted the toe, but I had Girldale try them on. They were even a little bit tight on her. They were tight on me. I don't enjoy the yarn. I don't enjoy the needles I'm using. So these are going to get frogged and probably using my sock yarn blanket. So that is getting frogged. In fact, I'm going to put it over here in my sock yarn blanket basket. So those are getting frogged. Next, I did finally find buttons for my hold on, what is this called? February Lady. Oh my gosh, my brain today. February Lady sweater. I finished this a while back. I still haven't woven in the ends, but I did find buttons, which are right here. I bought 3 of these. I wanted 3 large buttons to go down the very, very front. So let's see if we can demonstrate this. I did make really large buttonholes, but you know, I made them big and I could always make them smaller if I wanted to, but there you go. So there are going to be 3 of those. That's sort of hard to tell. I got these at Joann's. So I did finally get buttons. That was an ordeal. It took me, I'm not kidding, probably at least 45 minutes of standing there. I'm sure people were looking at me like I was crazy. All right, so next finished object is I finished a hat. Let me move these out of the way. I started and finished a hat. You haven't even seen this. This is some yarn, which you will see again shortly. I made a wingspan out of this hand-dyed from Daisy Knits, who is Jen. And then I did the rest of the hat in Wool of the Andes that was left over from the sweater I made for Sarah last year. So I really like this hat. It's just a plain beanie type hat, but I think the blue and green go great together. I was going to do green and then do the top black, but I thought the blue was more flattering. So yay, I like that. Totally goes with what I'm wearing, right? And then, let's see. I also made a pair of mittens. I can't remember if I've even shown these, but I did show them on Instagram. But these are called fried chicken mittens. And the lady who wrote the pattern says that your thumb looks like a piece of fried chicken. Like this part right here looks like a piece of fried chicken. And so the gusset for the thumb is knit to, I guess, make the thumb more comfortable or whatever. And I really like the pattern. I had knit these before, like back in 2009 or 8 or something like that. So these are the fried chicken mittens. This is Peyton's, or Patton's, however you say it, classic wool. So you can see the thumb is shaped, and it's a super easy pattern, even a beginner. And I was a pretty beginner knitter when I made these the first time. One difference I did is in the pattern she tells you to start the decreases when you get to the tip of your longest finger, but when I had originally knit them they were too long. So I started my decreases when I got to the tip of my pinky and they're perfect. So your mileage may vary, but these are really cool. Part of the reason I made these is because when I go to Tina's retreat in April, I don't want to look like a vagabond and have all mismatched stuff. So I'm trying to make some sets of things that sort of match. And so this is red, obviously, and you'll see this red coming up again shortly. So to go with these mittens, I also made a hat. And this I practiced my continental knitting. This is an awesome pattern. I absolutely love it. It's by Lisa Beamer, who is 90% knitting. If you know her, her podcast is 90% knitting, but her she also is the dyer behind Fiber Nymph Dye Works. And so she wrote this awesome pattern. That's her beautiful daughter. And so I knit, I'm going to take this hat off to put on one that actually matches what I'm wearing. This is the Twisty Goo hat. This was so much fun to knit. I will be knitting a bunch of these. I can tell already. Look at the top. So it is a really awesome, easy, well-fitting. I would not say this is beginner, but an adventurous beginner or an intermediate knitter could definitely make this. So I don't know how well you can see that. Can't see on top of my head. So that matches my mittens. And you'll see I have a scarf on the needles also that matches. So that is the Twisty Goo hat. Oh gosh, I gotta check these things off. I'm losing where I am. Let's see. Next, I finished some socks, which I will be giving to Girl Dale because she loves them, and I think they're sort of ugly actually. But she loves yellow, and I hate yellow. So these are. This is Knit Picks. Hold on, let me move this. Move that out of the way. This is Knit Picks. What is it? I think it's the cartoon colorway. And there's a lot of yellow, and she really, really loves them. And all I did is make like this little mirrored pattern on the two socks. I just took like 8 stitches, and every other row, I basically did garter stitch. Every other row was purled. So these are going to Girl Dale tomorrow. I get to give these to her tomorrow, so yay. Congratulations, Girl Dale, you won socks. And for putting up with me, you get a pair of socks. And then I also finished another pair of socks. In fact, I had at one point had finished every single pair of socks that I have on the needles, except for the ones I'm frogging, of course. All of my socks are done. I did cast on another sock, which you will see, but I finished all of the socks I had on the needles before I cast these on. So at one point, I had no socks on the needles, which is probably the first time in like 4 years that that's happened. So I was pretty excited. So these are the Ridge and Eyelet socks from the Big Book of Socks, and they're knit in some bear yarn with neps, as you can see. So I am super happy those are done. All the socks that I'm finishing, except the ones I've given away, are going into my basket to give to myself for Advent this year. I'm super happy with those. Next, I have my colorwork socks. I finished those. And this yarn is Cascade Heritage in a blue colorway and a green colorway. Let me show you the good side. There we go. This pattern is in More Sensational Knitted Socks. That's what that pattern is from. So I'm super happy with these. They will also go in the Advent basket. And I really like doing colorwork. I don't know why I don't do it more often. It's not hard. Okay, so I finished those, and then my favorite pair that I finished are my scroll socks, and that pattern is in More Sensational Knitted Socks also, and these were my bucket list socks that I have wanted to knit these socks for years and years. So I finally did, and whoa, do I love them. These are awesome. I have them on my sock blocker so they look all great, and I love the yarn. And the yarn was gifted to me by Narwhal Needleworks. This is her Good Vibes colorway. This is her super squishy sock base, and I will definitely be ordering some of this because I absolutely love this base. Love, love, love it. So these socks are awesome, and this is the scroll pattern, as I said, from Sensational Knitted Socks. Wait, no, more Sensational Knitted Socks. Love, 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 love. I will knit that pattern again also, because it was, as I had mentioned before, it's one of those patterns that I couldn't knit at first because I didn't have the skill, but now I have the mad knitting skills with a Z at the end. So I am super happy with those. Those are my favorite socks I've knit in a long time. All right, let's talk about works in progress. I already showed you my February lady sweater, which is technically done, but not really. Still have to do those buttons. Wingspan. I finished my wingspan, and this was out of the yarn that Daisy had dyed, but I'm not counting it as a finished object because I want to crochet a border around it. So remember the hat that I just showed you? This is the same yarn from the wingspan. And I love, 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 love the wingspan. I haven't blocked it yet or anything like that, but I love this wingspan. But I think it's going to look really good with this color blue crocheted around the outside of it. I think it'll make the teeth stand out even more. So I'm not counting this as a finished object, even though the knitting part is finished. And I definitely will make more wingspan because they are awesome. And I have this much left of this yarn, so I'm going to make a pair of the fried chicken mittens and use these as the part on the wrist. So I will have a matching set, see? So I won't look like a complete homeless person while I'm at the Knitopia retreat. Okay, so that is the wingspan. Next is a really fun project which I am sort of obsessed with, and they are in here. This is my superhero bag from Christine, who is Rainstorm Studios. And this is called the earbud pouch. And I actually have one already in my purse with my earbuds in it, but this is for, you know, the earbuds that you use with your cell phone or with your Walkman or whatever. And it's just a little pouch knit out of sock scraps. The pattern is actually written for DK. So these are going to be stocking stuffers. And so I finished one, and I also had to do myself a Star Trek one. This one's for me. And this is from Fiber Nymph Dye Works, her Star Trek yarn, or Star Trekkie. And then this one I haven't done the Kitchener yet, but I will. And I know the person who is watching knows these are for her. This one's actually going to be for Girldale because we knit matching socks out of this yarn. And so basically you just cast on some ribbing. It's a free pattern. It's called Earbud Pouch by Mary Keenan, and she says to use I think sport weight or something like that. I'm using sock weight. So what I did is I added 2 rows to the middle section and 1 row to the end to make it just a little bit bigger. The first one I finished is in my purse, and I think it's just a little bit small. So there you go. And these are, it's a great way to use up some of your sock yarn scraps. And I had posted these on Instagram, and I know other people have started making them. And I actually heard about these from Barb from the Two Knitlit Chicks podcast. So that is a long-going project, or as Tilly Trout says, a plop project in long-going progress, something like that. Then we have another thing that I'm knitting in Continental in my Star Trek bag by Star Knits. And this is something I'm practicing knitting Continental. Hold on a second. Let me get it out here. Okay. And again, I'm using the Patton's Classic Wool. That's what I'm using for these various projects. This is a project, it's another free pattern. It is the 1-row handspun scarf by Stephanie Pearl McPhee. And I'm not doing it in handspun, obviously. So what I did is I started the bottom half of the scarf in this pattern, the 1-row handspun scarf, and you can see I'm doing it on circulars. And then the middle section of the scarf I'm doing in rib, and then the last part of the scarf, I will again go back to doing this. So I did like 60 rows of this, and then I'm going to do a whole bunch of rows of the ribbing, and then sort of hard to tell in this lighting, but the scarf will be sort of narrower when it goes around your neck, but then wider in this part because of the way the ribbing is going to lay. So how cool is that? And that again is a free pattern, and I'm just modifying it to do the ribbing in the middle because I saw somebody wearing a scarf like that, like in a magazine or someplace, or maybe on Instagram, and I thought that was a cool idea to do the ribbing in the middle and make it more narrow. So that's a design feature. And then one more thing that I don't even have it on my list yet because I just cast it on. As I had mentioned, all of my sock needles were cleared off, so I had to cast on another pair. This is my September socks. In fact, let me write this down because I will forget to add it to my list. So I have this in my awesome bag by Christine, Rainstorm Studios. And this is, the yarn is Trekking XXL. I bought this yarn forever ago, and you can see the label is like so mangled. Trekking XXL, the colorway is 130. I love these socks so much. And I've actually made quite a bit of progress because when you only have one pair of socks on needles, you actually get a lot more done. So this is one of those Fair Isle, Faux Isle, whatever you want to call it, colorways. I love this yarn so much. Love, love, love. Look, Dale, yellow stripes. And I didn't even cut them out. This is what it looks like in the ball. This is one of those socks that looks so much better, one of the yarns that looks so much better knit than it does in the ball, in my humble opinion. And I am using Knitter's Pride Carbons. I love these needles so much. All right, so that is it for all of the knitting, I believe. My goodness, that was a lot. Next, we're going to talk about upcoming events. Okay, so since Sockstravaganza is over, I was thinking about what do I want to do for my next knit along, and since the holidays are coming up, and I know a lot of people knit dishcloths to give away as gifts, or washcloths, whichever one you want to call them, we are going to do a dishcloth knit along, crochet along in October, November, and December. I already have one person who's going to donate a prize, but if you want to donate more prizes, let me know. I was actually thinking about maybe making some stitch markers or something like that. They do have to be actual dishcloths. You can't enter scrubbies or anything like that. It has to actually be dishcloths. And so again, that's going to run October, November, and December. I'll create a thread in the Ravelry group, and you could just go, you could just do one washcloth or dishcloth per post, and you know, all those washcloths that you're going to do for gifts, you get to maybe earn a prize with them. And I love dishcloths. And in fact, I have been called the dishcloth queen. Yes, I am the dishcloth queen. You know who you are. Okay, and then after that, the Sock Bunny Retreat, which I'm not going to talk about on this episode because I've been blathering on so much, but next episode we'll go more in depth talking about the Sock Bunny Retreat. That's going to be a weekend of February 4th through the 6th, 2016. I have been informed by a close friend who's a football fanatic that February 7th, that Sunday, is Super Bowl Sunday. So keep that in mind. I personally do not watch the Super Bowl. I know in my house, Super Bowl is hugely popular with my husband, but I don't watch it. But just take that into account when you go to sign up. But the retreat ends Saturday night. And a lot of people leave on Sunday morning, and you'll be home in plenty of time to watch the Super Bowl. But I just wanted to throw that out there in case anybody was going to freak out that that's Super Bowl weekend. And I'm taking signups through December 31st. We have approximately 10 people signed up so far, and I have 4 vendors now, and we have room for 1 more. So if you're thinking about it, you need to hop on that because once the spots are gone, they're gone. We are having a one-on-one swap. So you're going to make little things. I mean, it could even be something little like those little earbud pouches, or you could make something or you could buy something. But for each person that signs up for the swap, you need to make one. So just keep that in mind. It's not like you're just going to make one thing and get one thing back. You're going to make like 30 of something. 30 is the most you would have to make. And I'll let you know in January the final number. But you'll make like 10 or 20 of something and you'll get 10 or 20 things back. So that's how the swap's going to work. And don't forget to bring your turvis. All right, and then, as I have mentioned a couple of times, I am officially going to Natopia. It is April 13th through the 24th in 2016 in Michigan with Tina, who is Blooming Knitter of the Knitting Blooms podcast. I will be there for the whole retreat. I've actually got flights in mind that I'm going to do, and I've gotten the green light from the husband, which is always the biggest hurdle. And I will be there for the whole retreat. And that's going to be sort of hard for me because, I have my kitty cat Pumpkin, and I'm going to have to be away from him for like 2 weeks. That's going to be so hard. I don't know if I can do it. I'm sure we'll both survive the event. All right, let's talk about fitness. As I always say, we have a fitness along. If you work out at least 30 minutes or have 10,000 steps on your pedometer, you can do 1 entry per person per day. The winner gets to choose up to a $10 giftable pattern on Ravelry. So before I draw the winner, I want to say that for a while I was doing really well with my fitness. I even started going back to spin class. I was running, all this kind of stuff. And then I got stupid sick. And then my stupid depression started kicking up. And I haven't worked out in like 2 weeks. So it's ridiculous. But I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I'm hoping like next week to get back to it, especially spin class, because I went back to spin class and it was just as fun and addicting as it was before. So, oh, and what I want to start doing, because lately I haven't been very motivated by my Fitbit. I think partially just because I haven't been feeling good. But what I want to do through the end of the year, especially because I know there's going to be lots of awesome vendors coming to the retreat in February, and I want to be able to spend money without feeling guilty. So what I'm going to do between now and the retreat in February actually is every time I go to the gym and attend a workout class, I get $1. And I create a poster already. And so between now and the end of the year, that could be like $90 or $100. Now, of course, I'll probably spend more than that at the retreat, but don't tell my husband. But I do want to spend that money like non-guilty. I want to earn it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So now, between now and the retreat, any class I attend at the gym where I go, the YMCA, I am going to give myself $1. So that's my motivation to get out of the house and actually go to classes, because, just because you get 10,000 steps a day doesn't mean you're necessarily working out your whole body. And I want to start, I've been at home, I've been doing Zumba and working out with weights and doing the trampoline and doing all my steps and all that kind of stuff. But I really want to start going back to classes again. So that's my motivation to go to spin class or Zumba class or yoga class or whatever. And they have a lot of classes there. So that's my motivation. All right, all that said, I did draw the August winner. And we had 245 posts and 20 participants. And in August, I actually posted my fitness, don't faint. And the winner was number 57, who is Tina from California, Little Mermaid. So congratulations. She had 19 workouts posted. So congratulations. She's won multiple times before. So you can win over and over again. So if you're working out, keep posting your workouts. And next is tips and tricks. So this tip is from Jan Knits 2, who used to be Jan's Hands. And in a prior podcast, I talked about trying to drink more water. And she says, I just moved from a rural setting to a big city. I've started to drink some water at every red light while I'm driving. It helps a bit. That is a great tip. Thank you, Jan. I never thought about that. So if you're driving and you're stuck in traffic, try to drink some water. Don't drink too much though, because then you might have to, pull over to the side of the road. I'm totally joking. All right, what I am watching and reading. Okay, quite a bit actually. I did get 4 more Star Trek books in the mail from an eBay seller. I also found about a dozen sci-fi books at the Goodwill. Somebody was having a clean out and I found a whole bunch of books at the Goodwill and I bought those. I finished reading 2001: A Space Odyssey on my Kindle. I think there are 2 books after it, maybe even 3. And so I'm going to borrow those on my Kindle and read those. I just haven't done it yet. I finished season 4 of Warehouse 13. Season 5 is not free on Amazon Prime yet, but I have it on my list. And as soon as I see that it's free, I'll watch the last season. And I'm actually embarrassed to tell you this next thing, but I'm going to tell you. And I'm embarrassed for a few reasons. One, I consider myself to be a Christian, as you probably already know, Catholic Christian. And I think this show, some Christians might be upset that I am watching it. So I just want to throw that out there, that I understand where you're coming from, but I'm not going to turn into a witch or a vampire because I'm watching this show. But I am watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it is from peer pressure from my daughter Rachel. She's obsessed with the show, and she also watched Angel, which I don't know if I'll be watching that. But I'm watching Buffy. I'm on the last season, season 7, and um, I really didn't like the first couple of seasons. Other seasons have been okay. It's not my kind of show. This is not a show I would normally watch, but I'm watching it, one, so I get all the pop culture references, because the show was out in the late 90s, early 2000s, and there's a lot of pop culture references to it. The only character, or there's 2 characters that I like. The rest of them, I don't care. I have no emotional attachment to Buffy or Willow or Xander or any of these other people. And I hope I'm not offending any of you Buffy fans out there, because I definitely don't mean to offend anybody. This show's just, it's not Star Trek, so it's not my cup of tea. But I do like Giles, and I like Spike sometimes, but I think Spike, out of all the characters, has the best lines. He's the one who has made me laugh out loud the most. Although Anya has had some really good bunny lines. So if you watch Buffy and you really love it, I hope you're not upset that it's not my favorite show in the world. But I am watching it because of peer pressure from Rachel. And as a part of Give and Take, Rachel did finally watch Star Trek Wrath of Khan, which I have been trying to get her to watch for like 5 years. So it's a give and take relationship that we have. She watched Star Trek Wrath of Khan. I'm having to watch a heck of a lot more than she had to watch. But anyway, I am almost done with season 7 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So there you go. And it's a show that I never had any interest in watching. It's not horrible. And if you like that kind of stuff, it's just so unrealistic. Okay, I'm going to do a little rant. It's so unrealistic that you would throw a chair at a werewolf and it would stop him. I'm sorry. Okay, rant over. All right, let's move on. Favorite things. This is so awesome. So this is from my friend Girldale. Let me find it. This is from my friend Girldale, and I'll show you where she got it first. She got from these are punk rock buttons from punkrockbuttons.com. And let's see, she's on Instagram as Punk Rock Buttons. All right, so anyway, Girldale got me some awesome Star Trek pins, or badges as you call them in the UK. So you can see we've got Sulu. I don't know how clearly these are going to show. We've got Sulu, and these are going to be pinned to one, probably my Star Trek bag that I just had out a minute ago. We've got Spock. Love Spock. If I wasn't already in love with Kirk, Spock would be my favorite. We have the Star Trek logo. And then Mr. McHottie himself, Captain Kirk! Oh, he's a cutie. Look at him. Look how adorable he is. Yeah, there you go. Eye candy. And then lastly, she got me this, and I'm sure this is the whole reason she even ordered, was because it's a button of Spock holding a black cat. And if you've watched before, you know I have a black cat named Pumpkin. So those are so awesome. Thank you, Girldale! And they're going to get pinned to my Star Trek bag. I'm not even going to put them back in the little plastic container. So those are from punkrockbuttons.com. Thank you, Girldale. I love them. Love, 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 love them. All right, let's see. Is there anything else we're going to talk about? I don't think so. Don't forget, we have a prayer request thread in the Sock Bunny group, so if you want to enter your prayers there, even if it's an unspoken prayer request. And don't forget to enter your fitness in the fitness thread. And I really appreciate you watching. And don't forget, if you entered Sockstravaganza, you have until October 17th to watch the other video and let me know that you saw it and win your prizes. Otherwise, I'm going to redraw the winners on probably October 18th. So I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and keep on crafting. Bye.